This Saturday in Tampa, Florida, we get one of the, if not the most exciting pay-per-view event or premium live event, whatever you want to call it, other than a Wrestlemania, because we get the actual Royal Rumble pay-per-view, the Royal Rumble pay-per-view in which nothing else matters. The title matches don't matter. The singles matches, the feuds, the rivalries going into the event don't matter. All that matters are two matches. The 30 women and the 30 men's Royal Rumble match. Those matches decide who goes on to the show of shows, main event, WrestleMania, go after a world title, and try to make a name, a legend of themselves. So with that said, tonight we have Monday Night Raw, of course, but on this video in particular, I'm going to run down my top 5 list of potential winners of the women's Royal Rumble match. And on Friday, I'm going to touch upon the men's Royal Rumble winners, their potential list. But as far as this video goes, I have a few honorable mentions. I have a few superstars who might make an appearance, might make a comeback. They might go all the way. They might win the match itself. But again, disclaimer, if you've been following this YouTube channel, if you've been following my content, you already know what type of main events I'm expecting for WrestleMania 40. So without further ado, let's get into it. Now, I have 3 honorable mentions, and I'm just going to touch upon them barely, a little bit. Number 1, Trish Stratus. Now, Trish Stratus is a legend in her own right. She's a Hall of Famer, rightfully so. A lot of people want her to have one last run with the Women's Championship, which is why she is on this list. Hell, it'd be historic for her to actually win the Women's Royal Rumble match for the first time in her career. She didn't get that honor. She didn't get that possibility during her full-time career because WWE was not having Women's Royal Rumble matches at that time. But it would be poetic justice to have Trish Stratus win the Women's Royal Rumble match, at least at one point in her career. Now, today, I don't think the feuds, the rivalries, or the champions currently warrant that. Now, everything can change at Elimination Chamber. That's the last stop before WrestleMania. We've seen it before. WWE has definitely changed champions during the February pay-per-views to fit their WrestleMania main event. So, I'm just throwing it out there. Trish Stratus might be able to win this. Zoe Stark, an upstart on the Raw Women's division. She's been a little bit laying low nowadays. She put up a good effort against Rhea Ripley in her title match a few months ago. But if you really want to make a brand new star, a brand new headliner for your women's division, look no further than having Zoe Stark win the Royal Rumble match. Now again, the champions don't warrant her winning. And number 3, she just said goodbye to TNA Wrestling, former Knockouts World Champion. She killed it in that run. And now there's a very high possibility, because her husband still works there, that we're going to feel the glow at the Royal Rumble in Tampa, Florida. Naomi might be able to make a comeback to WWE. She might win the whole thing. Now, Naomi versus Rhea Ripley, that's pretty good. Naomi versus Io Sky, not bad either. It's just a matter of if WWE wants to go that route. Now, let's get into the list. Number 5, the return of Miss Monet, Sasha Banks, of course. And the reason I put her on this list and not Naomi is because Sasha Banks is a much bigger name in wrestling than Naomi is. Number 2, her returning to WWE would be an absolute pop in Tampa, Florida, in the IWC, everywhere and anywhere. Fans would absolutely love it. And again, Paul Levesque, Triple H, I'm pretty sure he can convince her to come back. It's just a matter of getting the money on point. But I'm just keeping Sasha Banks at number 5 because there's a possibility she might be coming back. I don't think she is. I'm hopeful she is. But if she does come back, if Sasha Banks makes a return, she's going to have to win the whole thing. She's that big of a star. As simple as that. Sasha Banks versus Rhea, Sasha Banks versus Io Sky, or Sasha Banks versus Bayley. If you get through that feud before WrestleMania, That's money right there. Number 4, another returning superstar. Had an unfortunate incident running with the law a few months ago. Again, but she's a fan favorite, no doubt. She's had some performances in the past. Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan can actually come back and win this entire thing. The issue being, I don't think she's enough of a threat to Damage Control. Definitely not to Mommy, Rhea Ripley, in that world title. But again, it's just a matter of how you book it, how you approach it creatively, what steps you take to make her look like a threat to the title. But I just don't see Liv Morgan winning this. That's why she's at number 4. She's a high enough profile name to probably win this. I just don't think it's going to happen. And then we get into number 3, Bianca Belair, EST. Now, can the EST win the Royal Rumble match once again? Absolutely. She's one of the top stars in WWE. If I'm not mistaken, along with Cody Rhodes and Rhea Ripley, she's going to be on the cover of 2K24 for WWE. So again, WWE has a lot of stock in the EST of WWE. Bianca Belair is a future Hall of Famer. And again, if it wasn't for Charlotte Flair's unfortunate knee injury, which is going to prevent her from being at WrestleMania, Bianca Belair would either be champion right now, or she'd be the front runner to win the Royal Rumble match. But again, it's a physical business. Injuries do happen. I'm sorry, Bianca, but with everything that's going on, Bianca versus Rhea, I mean, that's a fantastic matchup. But I'm looking at someone else for that spot. And then Bianca versus Io, we've seen it multiple times in the past. Not enough of a big enough WrestleMania match or WrestleMania story at this point. So, who knows? I mean, she's at number 3. She still might win it. If you're top 3, you're definitely in the running to win this match, for me at least. But Bianca Belair will not be winning this match. At number 2, the man, Becky Lynch. The man, Becky Lynch. Now, we all saw that confrontation with Mommy last Monday night on Monday Night Raw, and I don't know about you, but I want that match to happen as soon as possible. Becky Lynch, Rhea Ripley, Women's World Championship on the line. A title that, by the way, Becky Lynch, at least that design, she has not held. And if that promo battle was anything to go by, that stare down, the aura that you felt from looking at those two women, those two top superstars in WWE go face to face in a WWE ring, I cannot wait for what it's going to look like at WrestleMania in Philadelphia. Either night 1 or night 2, it doesn't matter. I think it's a shoo-in. I think it's already set in stone that Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch are going to go at it for the world title at WrestleMania. It's just a matter of, will Becky get there through the Royal Rumble match, or will she get there through the Elimination Chamber match? And at number 2, Becky Lynch, at least in my eyes, has a huge possibility of winning the Royal Rumble match. But number 1, in my eyes, is one superstar who's been underestimated. And, well, her number 4 when it comes to the 4 Horsemen. At least for this Royal Rumble match, she's at number 1. And of course, I'm talking about the former leader of Damage Control, even though that hasn't been communicated to her directly yet. Bayley. Bayley, who currently is the favorite to win the Royal Rumble match when it comes to betting. And how could you not? Because again, Charlotte Flair's injury changed everything. If you asked me before Charlotte Flair's injury, Bayley versus Io Sky or Bayley tagging with someone else to face off against Damage Control, that would have been the plan at WrestleMania. Not a women's title match, but a good enough story to have them featured on the WrestleMania card on either nights. But now, Bayley has to win the Women's Royal Rumble match. And I don't care. I do not care if it's predictable. I do not care if it's the exact same story, not the exact same story, of course, but it's a similar story to what we got in 2005 between Batista and Evolution and Triple H. To have those dynamics, Bayley, Damage Control, Io Sky, leading into WrestleMania, have Damage Control push her into wanting to fight Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Championship. And hell, you can even throw in some comedy there. Bayley wins the Rumble. She can't fight Io because they're a part of Damage Control. They push her towards Rhea. She doesn't want to fight Rhea because, of course, Rhea's mommy. She looks over at NXT. Looks at, I believe, at Lyra Valkyria, who's still the champion. It might be Roxanne Perez very, very soon. And thinks twice, and she can't make up her mind. And by doing that, you put the NXT Women's Champion over as well. It's a win-win, and we eventually get to actually want to cheer Bayley once again for the first time in almost 5 years. So with that said, that's my list. That's my list for potential winners when it comes to the Women's Royal Rumble match. At number 5, Sasha Banks. Number 4, Liv Morgan. Number 3, the EST of WWE, Bianca Belair. Number 2, the man herself, Becky Lynch. And number 1, Bayley. So with that said, what are your predictions? Who do you think walks into the Women's Royal Rumble match and actually wins the whole thing to go on to challenge for a world title at WrestleMania 40? Leave your thoughts, comments, predictions, and your own list in the comment section below. As far as tonight's concerned, tune in later on tonight to the USA Network for another episode of Monday Night Raw. Let's see what WWE decides to do with this whole Seth Rollins injury thing. If you ask me, I think they should just keep the title on him, hope for the best, because they've got a money feud between Seth Rollins and CM Punk for the world title at WrestleMania. And I would not put that in jeopardy at all. If he can avoid surgery, if he can avoid being in rehab for too long, I'd keep the title on Seth freaking Rollins. But I would not discount Damian Priest cashing in that briefcase tonight. So with that said, I'm Alexis Carrillo. This has been Wrestling Talk, and I'll see you next time.